Welcome to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy, Trials and Tribulations, Episode 3, Part 4-1.
Subsection 2, Subsection Paragraph 5. Your Honour, I bring to your attention the fact that it is day 4. It is court, the second time in court, which is why I am back. Hi everybody. Double Cross is once again joined by Kevin, but Kevin has a fret.
Kevin has a threat.
Kevin has a fret.
Oh no.
He's like, oh okay, well if you get me to voice things, then I might choose to voice something else. And heaven help you if I do, because if it's a character that's coming back, you're not going to forget it, and I'm not going to make... I don't care what their background is, I'm going to voice it in very specific ways.
I've got fear.
He's going to voice the gavel.
Yes, what happened was...
absolutely. Voice the gavel.
We're going to law.
I hope so. I really hope so.
It is now January 8th. We are leaving that day behind.
We're leaving January the... Oh, yes, I guess.
What a goddamn case.
The District Court Defendant Lobby number 1, because we all know who's in Defendant Lobby number 2.
Yes. Welcome to January 8th, 2019.
Yes, absolutely. No, Defendant Lobby number 2 is... Oh.
Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning, Mr. Wright!
Good morning, Maggey. So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery.
That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet.
Are you okay, Nick?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes.
No, that wasn't doubt. That was, determination. You know, like Undertale.
Why don't I believe you?
Ace Attorney Genocide Run.
No. No.
Yes.
No.
I see what you're doing there, Phoenix Trite. You're going for a genocide run, aren't you? Well, you can't defeat me, not when I've got this sentient cup of coffee that keeps getting taller.
Phoenix Wright standing there squinting in his oversized sweater and a tutu.
It's nearly time, Maggey. You better get going to the defendant's seat. Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you.
I was gonna say
Hey, pal!
I was literally gonna say,
hey,
isn't this time that Gumshoe bursts in desperate? I was literally gonna say.
Hey, babes. Hey, Detective Gumshoe, don't call me babe. Quit stressing Maggey out. She doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? I was watching through the doorway.
I like watching, pal. It's my thing. Also, Detective Gumshoe for XCOM Season 4. It's doable.
He has an anime VA, so that will count. You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal?
I was showing determination.
Here, maybe this'll help.
Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too?
Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing.
It's nail polish.
Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. This is the small bottle that turned up in Trebien's kitchen a couple of days ago.
Wow, look at all these little bottles.
Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. I don't know why Phoenix is happy in my flashback. He's like, ooh, he's got so many and they're overflowing onto the floor.
Are you sure it's not just because that she's in a maid outfit?
Hey!
That's his boss's sister!
I'll have you know that
at
that point, Double Cross looked at me with a sort of cocked her head to the side, and there was that long silence was thinking as to whether or not that would be the case.
It's 2024, nobody ships it anymore.
There's one bottle that's different from all the others.
Well, what do you know? It's green. It's green.
It's the only thing of colour.
Those were all blue. This is green. It's nail polish. It's a nail polish.
It's nail polish, but that's a really good idea. I'm glad somebody came up with that.
It doesn't smell.
Christ almighty, everybody. There we go.
We finally got the analysis results back from the lab.
She does listen to me, honest.
So, what is it? Is it the poison?
I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication.
Medication?
Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently.
For ears?
You mean... Yep, it's the medication Glenn Elg was using for his ruptured eardrum.
Welcome back, Markiplier.
Welcome
Nice
back,
to see
Markiplier.
you from the hit podcast.
What was Glenn Elg's ear medication doing in the kitchen? Acquired a bottle. What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but... that's gonna weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today, got it? Today's trial. I'm gonna expose
Jesus, holy
I'm gonna
crap.
expose this son of a bitch for what he's done, or my name isn't Phoenix Wright.
What?
That was the theme music you were playing earlier, actually. It's for this guy.
Yeah, I'm just like, wow. The design on this.
It is the imposter
Is it
Phoenix
Satan?
Wright. It's the imposter Phoenix Wright. Don't ask me why he's orange, the game doesn't explain.
What is this?
I think it might be like an Oni type thing, but he is a
Yeah.
guy.
Greetings, graduate.
Greeting. We saw.
Indeed. We clapped. At the time of recording, Ninten has just graduated and has come into the chat, so it's just...
Graduation is now in session for the trial of Maggey Byrde.
The trial of Ninten Nerd.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor. Ready to hit you on the head with a cap and declare that your university days are at an end, and that we can't get more money out of you.
Oh, good. I was hoping for that degree. Very good. Then we'll get underway at once. Now that I am officially qualified to be a judge. Yesterday, we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kuda. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee.
Well...
However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems.
It was bullshit. The rim, or the mark on the rim of the cup. The rim on the mark of the rim of the cup of the mark.
Come on, this is a well-typeset line.
The mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank from it with his right hand. Unless you're, looking in the mirror, in which case it's left hand. Look, I will demonstrate. This is drinking with your right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picks it up with his left hand. And we know that's completely impossible. Left hands don't do that.
Thank you, Mr. Goro.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick? Hydrate.
Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. Look, that's how illumination works. I turn on this switch, and you see, the courtroom gets brighter. The world keeps turning. We must turn with it. Otherwise, we'll be left behind in space.
You've lost me already, Mr. Goddard.
I'm not at all surprised. You lost your hair in the same way so long ago. It migrated south for the winter and never came back.
I've been bald since I was 16.
I stand by my initial statement to the court, Your Honor. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. For example, only losers think like that. Luck is for losers, and I'm no loser.
For a celebrated prosecutor, you're kind of shit at it.
You've got to change with the times, old man. Stop getting in my way. That's one of my rules.
Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? I assume from any of what you just said.
You know the answers to these riddles.
You know the answers to these riddles? That was
it's me. Sorry, see, this is how predictable you are, Your Honor. I even knew what you were going to say before you yourself said it.
Oh, sweetheart.
I've told you before, the old guy wasn't just throwing seed in here. That's a manner of phrasing, but once again we turn around to the people who translated the game and go, you had a choice here and you chose that. He was throwing us off the scent.
Actually,
he was throwing the seed in here, in fairness.
Yeah.
Although, was that seed or salt? I could have thought it was salt.
It's seed, but I'm pretty sure it's actually beans, which would also make sense with Imposter Phoenix's appearance.
But
because there's like a New Year's thing where you throw beans to chase away Oni.
Yeah. But could it also have been salt, technically?
That would be terrible. It's a very big salt.
Yeah, but isn't that supposed to keep away as well?
Like, throwing the salt away isn't an action. Remember, this takes place at the beginning of January as well. So, there is a New Year's theme going on here.
Aha! Of course! Allow me to drink this coffee and try and... And today I'll prove it! Look at the calendar, Your Honor, it is indeed a New Year's thing!
Very well, let the first witness take the stand.
What about salted beans? I mean, that's possible.
It's time to be French.
Jesus Christ.
He's beautiful as well.
And you are...
Oh, bonjour, everyone. I am Jean Armstrong, the owner and head chef of the Tribulations restaurant. Enchanté.
Are you a relation of the guy with the nano machines, or...
The nano machine? Forgive me for asking this, but... This is a difficult subject. Are you a woman? Ooh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I am the pert and plucky gentleman, no?
Your Honor, I will not have you misgendering this. On the day of the incident...
He will not. He will just carry on.
On the day of the incident, you were in Trebian's kitchen. Isn't that right? I mean, if it's not, why...
With you, monsieur.
What?
Everything feels right.
I do not feel so right. I need more coffee.
I don't know, actually, he kind of seems a little accepting of it. Damn. Doesn't anything it kind of intimidates him, but damn.
Continue.
I know what it's like to be intimidated by him.
Look.
Very well. Your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Tribulations. Oui, volontiers. You now tell me if I spoke any French correctly whatsoever, even though, like, as a character, he's technically speaking French for the bit.
I mean, you're doing a pseudo-French accent, which is what you would have to do in this situation.
Yeah.
Because it's English-French combined. Anyway.
It's a...
Très bien.
When it happened, there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art deco that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example.
Like having a large mirror! You know how everything was reversed?
Perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. La cup, la earpiece, and the glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, no?
And because we pointed that out...
Mirror!
And because we pointed it out, you know it's wrong.
Oui, un grand mirror. The most enormous mirror. That's a lot of fucking mirror. It's got to be a big mirror to fit those guns.
And suddenly, the mystery disappears. Like this coffee down my throat.
That's right.
See? It's gone. Like I say, the world keeps turning. So roll with it, chat.
It's like, yeah, bitch, I did resolve it.
Yes.
It's like, you challenged me?
I'm now gonna have this can of coffee.
That sure is a can of coffee. That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me.
Chat says when first...
I got up at 9:20.
When first... You did not.
Phoenix did.
When first playing this, I half expected Armstrong to say, "Listen very carefully, I shall say this only once." We could have done that, indeed.
Oh, if that had been in that had been like in the localizer's head
It is
in the mid-2000s, they would have done it. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
At Tribune.
We must ask questions.
You have been watching. Right. What's the? I mean, we should probably find out more about this mirror, I guess.
I was experimenting. I had a mirror.
It is I, Armstrong.
How big of a mirror are we talking here?
Like the entire wall.
Something about 4 meters wide and about 2 meters high.
Using boff is a choice as well.
Let's see if 1 meter is about Phoenix. That's yes, actually. 1 meter is about 1 yard. I don't know metric. Holy glass in the frame, that's huge. I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually. Mirrors on the ceiling? Pink champagne on ice!
I will tell you now, I was going to move it out of the restaurant and put it on the ceiling.
Oh, thank God it was a mirrored ceiling and not a mirrored floor. It's not one of those restaurants. Mais non, but I decided not to go through with it in the end. What should I do? Do I hardcore mirror? But
I don't know.
Phrases.
I don't know. Chat, do we hardcore mirror? Just put yes. Just put a Y or an N in the chat at this point. Just for sake of speed, chat. Just does double cross hardcore mirror?
Are we buying?
I'll be
the
very
mirror
interested in this. I was tempted to do a poll.
Are we buying the mirror?
Y or an N? No. What are we supposed to do? My way
let's
on
talk about
the
it.
highway.
Okay, if you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, wouldn't somebody have noticed it? But there's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggey Byrde's testimonies. But
Objection. You didn't ask, Wright. You have only yourself to blame for such sloppy work of not knowing that something was there.
ah!
A mirror was delivered to Tribune the day before the incident.
Really?
As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. And as it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end. Wait, why did I say that?
Okay, this doesn't add up. Even if a mirror was delivered to Tribune, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime. I'm hiccuping.
Ha! If you want to doubt someone, Wright, look in the mirror. If you can find it,
Oh fuck.
I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough.
We've trapped Phoenix Wright in a house of mirrors. Do we have to get a clown who hosts the House of Mirrors now?
A house of mirrors. A series of lies stacked on top of each other.
So the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror. But had they? Because, like, I have to point out, in our bio, which was taken not regarding mirror, that is the left ear. Were they wearing the eardrum with the HMD, I think is the question.
Well, the HMD is one side only, surely.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be a clue? If it was mirrored, then surely it would fit over his right eye. But I'm sure that's probably not the answer.
You wanna just press it?
You can...
Everything? He would have seen everything in reverse? Wait. Nick, we should take a sec and think about what old CD said in his testimony. How'd he phrase it again? Don't do it. Nobody do it. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. That's where I'm going with this now. This is what he's going to have. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. Look at my nose.
I think he's just allergic to those beans, you know? What a terrible situation. He's probably been doing that his whole life.
And
he's
I
had
use
this
the
problem
same
with his
hand
nose.
to pick up the cup. His left hand. If he saw everything he described reflected in a mirror, then everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right. And that clears up all the problems of his testimony, I guess. Or does it?
Ha! Allow me to interrupt this internal monologue for a minute, just to make a noise.
It's kind of hard to believe everything's the fault of a mirror, but...
Ha!
Do you think Coltsini saw everything through reflection? If he did, it would explain all the contradictions in his testimony. But that just makes the situation worse for Maggey. There's gotta be something in that old man's testimony. We've just gotta dig deeper. Dig a little deeper. Yeah.
Miss Froggy, I'm afraid that your attitude of just working through all your problems is wrong!
Why did I just press it again? God damn it.
Don't worry, it's fine.
Hang on a second. Lightning fast lawyer action.
Ha! The cup. It's the cup, isn't it? The cup, because we've established is about the cup that it's like on the so-and-so side, isn't it?
We've established that the cup would have been picked up by the right hand.
Yes.
And therefore it would have been seen as left in the mirror.
Indeed.
No, a problem. Look at that lawyer's badge, by the way. That's what he did. That's what a fucked up man did. That's how he pretended to be Phoenix
There's a
Wright in
cardboard
court.
lawyer badge.
It's literally cardboard.
I see.
No. Because the old man said specifically it had to be this here, so he couldn't have seen it in the mirror. Because it is backed up by the actual article.
Objection! Sorry, what?
The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. You can lock me up if I'm wrong, it was his left ear without a doubt. So, to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw all of that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right. Exactement. You see, monsieur, now that you think about it, it is not so odd, no?
Who are you, Maya?
Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts.
The facts.
If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Order! Order! Mr. Wright is correct! What? If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye.
I don't know what number coffee this is, but how bitter the taste. Try it. You should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna throw this cup at you.
Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different?
You don't understand the way the witness thinks.
How he thinks?
Yes, how he thinks. You remember this, I presume.
His beautiful apology? I mean, Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony?
Exactly. The old man had one very grievous habit. Writing, other than throwing seeds, I mean. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Iplier?
Mr. Iplier? Clearly, it's the victim's eyepiece.
Incorrect. It's his participation in hit podcast. No, that's my point. The old man strikes again. The worst comic sequel there's ever been. Mr. Kel's HMD, that's a head-mounted display in case you're not familiar, made a big impression on the old man. In fact, he went out on board too, one for each eye socket.
Damn.
I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh my god, I was right! Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Do you hear? His left ear! Ah, well, Trite. And you, chat, I can see you.
That is the worst but best impression of Kudo ever.
It was better than yours.
Wow, I really thought he was Old C for a minute there. Kudo's good.
Shut up, Maya, no one cares.
Enough! I missaw this icon for a minute and thought it was a star from Mario.
Well, on the bottom right corner.
Yes.
On the thing.
It's got little eyes.
Wait, if the judge hits that, does the judge become invincible?
I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony. Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of the contradiction you found is just a rash. Why would I describe it like that?
Shut up, Maya! She's unhelpful in everything. Just there to gaslight Phoenix and just be completely. Why didn't you think of this,
Hang on.
Phoenix?
Dramatic line from Whitehead Boy.
A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can a lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? A bundle of contradictions. Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. And I mean in the information sense, please. Tell the court we're all ears. I said that last time, I'm pretty certain.
I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans of the restaurant.
Jesus Christ, honestly. You know the thing that really disturbs me?
Okay.
You can, there's a tiny, tiny bit of white of his eye.
It's the lack.
Right-hand corner of his left.
I think it's in the
From our point
boosting
of
and the
view.
design. They forgot the pupil.
Yeah.
Which is what gets
it's just
me.
the fact that he's.
Like,
it
I
looks like
appreciate that
he's
he-
possessed.
I appreciate that he has beautiful, big, shiny, gleaming eyes.
Why is he possessed?
He's not possessed.
The French are possessed by the devil.
He's not even French, I think.
The mock French are possessed by the devil.
Alors, is everyone sitting comfortably?
No, but continue.
Oh, honey.
Oh god, we're back to Overcooked again.
The mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. It's getting a bit difficult to distinguish between the those
Hang
and the
on, was it a mirror on both sides?
After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else.
Not even the floor.
I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing Aussie men like this. Thank you, honey.
Don't worry about it. In fact, I quite enjoyed it. Just like this coffee. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out into a cold sweat over there.
I hate the condition. You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that? Volontiers, of course. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please.
Can I just say that... What? In this game,
In this game,
old Adji
old RJ.
is actually very helpful.
He's quite helpful.
He's not just completely clueless like he was in the other games. He points out stuff which are contradictions and is like, okay, no, this is a mistake and that's wrong.
I'm not
And-
actually presenting, don't worry about that. I'm just flipping
and
through things.
just everything basically.
I'm just running a check.
He's much better as in terms of, because he also won't stand no nonsense. He won't stand nonsense, but he will also accept that Phoenix has made good points, which he really didn't do in the previous 2 games.
Mm.
It was just like, Mr. Wright, you appear to have come up with something out of the blue. Mr. Wright, I mean, I guess that's correct. This time round, he will actually say that is absolutely correct, based on what we know, which is just good to see.
Because we have the floor plan already, so it's
Yeah.
like... And we have the photo. And the photo was taken from around here.
And based on the scale and where that mirror was, it's massive obstruction in the middle of the floor.
Yeah. La mirror... There's... I take that!
Oh, hello.
It
Mr. Phoenix Productions has
subscribed for 47 months, currently on a 1-month streak. So...
Stuff Things Sexy Chef Man.
Well, hello there.
Maintenant. Alors. I think we found a cosplay for Pete, actually. You could pull that off, Pete. I think.
You have to be good, though. You have to be good.
I think. I could see Pete's hair like that, actually. I can also see him with a rose, frankly.
See what I mean? Actually, like the eye shining throat, because
Okay,
the dog's eyes
better.
aren't dark enough.
That's better. That looks like he actually does have pupils and has whites of the eyes.
It's not dark enough compared to the actual ink, though.
It's when he's front on. That's a lot of effort.
He's just dreaming.
But how magnificent, Pete! How magnificent that moustache and beard combo would be.
That's a lot of. You're gonna have to accept that you're gonna have to be very camp in this role.
My arms aren't quite so large.
Admittedly, Armstrong.
Armstrong, yes.
Armstrong. There are two famous characters called Armstrong, and one of them buff, and the other one is buff. If you don't hit him in the head, he's immune to all damage, which is how Phoenix Wright rolls.
He has plot armor. His main character, so he's fine.
Oh, he is worse than.
It's time for Maya to get kidnapped again, everybody. It's
Oh, case 5.
Stick her in. Get her out of the way.
Look at
It's nice when she's back, but it's even better when she goes away again. Have you noticed? Anyway, what did we? If that's in the mirror, then why is?
This was clearly taken.
Yeah, that's not from the mirror.
That's not from the mirror. This was taken from the crime scene.
Yeah, and the cup's on his right, and the thing's on his left. Actually, no. What's?
The cup's on his right. The thing is invisible.
But the. Oh,
That's the back of his head, and that's his.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay, so he's facing the right way. Okay.
So it's like
It's not massively clear because you could easily say that he was facing to his right from our point, from the left from our point of view, facing towards the vase or vase. It's actually difficult to see whether or not the hair's there at the back of his head or not. So.
Do you want me to run back for the lines to present?
No. Present.
This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we've heard, Your Honor. The crime photo? Oh, thank God it wasn't a generic. Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright?
Should not exist? Ha! Sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite.
Okay.
I know you are, but what am I?
Okay, babe, calm down. Now then, if the defense would please clarify the statement.
Yeah, clarify your statement, Trite.
But there's also, like, one other important thing. That, like... What was the thing that the old man did
The
when
vase?
he reacted? Was the vase tipped over? That's not a tipped over vase, and all that.
Well, I would have thought that, one of the obvious things also would have been surely the T and the B would be the wrong way around, right? If it was the mirror image.
I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture. The vase? What possible connection does that have with this witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase on this table. because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. There is one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all.
Don't be an idiot, Trite! That's impossible!
That's impossible.
That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from.
Exactly.
Huh?
There is only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Mon Dieu!
Don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. Yeah, Gumshoe, I'm gonna
Hold
throw
it.
you under the bus as well.
Unfortunately, Mr. Gatto, that doesn't quite work for me.
I
Mr.
don't care, it doesn't
Armstrong
work for
already
you.
testified to the contrary in his own words. I did not touch anything else except the mirror.
Crap.
Yes, actually, he started malfunctioning again. Well, witness, what do you have to say for
Never
yourself?
gargle with coffee.
I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear?
You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trite, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw?
If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it. Are you gonna be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? Remember what Maggey told us. There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple.
Mr. Kudo made a mistake. The ear doctor made a mistake. The victim was a phony. The victim was a dog. The vase was a vase after all. There was no table. There was no restaurant. Maggey Byrde never existed at all and was just something that Gumshoe made up and everyone went along with. Or alternatively,
Silent Hill!
or alternatively, the murderer was Old Man McGillet from the mine. The mine worker who was fired by the victim earlier that day. And he wouldn't have got away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling lawyers. No, what's the answer?
This case is riddled with contradictions. How can you just sit here? No, I can't do it. No more Silent Hill 2. We're done. No dogs in control rooms. No mysterious women we imagine. Nothing. Yeah, there is one very
was
simple...
Pyramid Head the killer? Hang on a second!
Pyramid Wright!
If you reverse, take Phoenix's head and then just like colour the hair red, and then just have his head swiveled the other way.
Pyramid Wright!
Pyramid Wright!
Pyramid Wright! You may think it would have been Gatto who was Pyramid Head, but no, it was Phoenix the whole time. It was part of the metaphor. There is one
And you know why? Phoenix and Pyramid. Phoenix and Pyramid both start with P. I think are the same amount of letters. It was all a disguise! It was a disguise! It was a disguise! They start with P.
You didn't say...
I did! They start with P. Both start with P. He does listen to me, everybody. Phoenix and Pyramid both started with
Anyway.
B.
There is one very simple answer that clears them all up.
Ancient Egypt!
Ancient Egypt? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events.
What?
Legitimately.
Oh god, we're not going to do another
Yes!
trial, have we?
The victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Alg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Alg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake.
Here comes another coffee.
You gotta love that build-up, don't you? You gotta love that build-up, don't you? He drinks the coffee specifically to spit it. It's perfect.
Set up the spit take, everybody.
Order in the court! Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom!
Wait,
I'll get rid of all of you!
That might be a way I can win this trial. Quiet, Gramps! Why don't you clear out of here, huh?
What did you just say?
Oh shit! Actually,
Scat!
yeah, you.
Scared, fear.
Yeah,
Fear.
Try. You were saying what? Just kudos all this out. Wow, for once the judge showing some real backbone there. It's like I will be
It's like, Jesus fucking Christ,
superior judge, everybody.
I've seen whippings in this courtroom and I have not been this enraged in my life. Anyway.
Maya, rubbish. The judge, awesome. Let's go.
It's a pity the judge cannot move from behind.
Yes.
It's a pity the judge cannot move from behind that. From his stand.
His legs left with his hair.
His legs are there, but they don't work. Maybe in a spin-off title, he'll be able to finally walk.
We did have that nightmare sequence of him towering over.
It still didn't have legs.
Still didn't have legs. Mount Judgemore, everybody.
Phoenix has never seen them, so why would they be in the dream?
They don't exist. Is he Davros? Is he going around like a Dalek chair?
No, sorry.
I'm sorry,
Reread.
Mr.
May need to reread.
Try. Are you saying what Mr. Kudo saw was? I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Yes.
Phoenix Wright next Dead by Daylight DLC.
Someone pretended to be Glenn Alg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning, all for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr.
Don't
Victor
bring
Kudo.
dolphins and similar creatures into this, Trite.
Porpoise.
Get real. Why would anybody want to do that?
Isn't it obvious?
No.
The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was the serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. That's the serving girl in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. Remember, he's kind of old-fashioned, so he doesn't realize there could be a waiter. It's so hard to believe, but there was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggey Byrde in the act of poisoning the coffee.
Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but it's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening. Unless he was the killer, of course. But let's not bring that into question.
That's right. Well, witness, if your restaurant really was a scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? Ooh la la. This is most difficult for me. I like it. No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath, after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at Tribulations that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened.
The defense demands we go through this cross-examination of your new testimony once again.
The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain, in detail, the events in the restaurants that day.
Like you should have done in the first place. That's how this works.
That's how all of the
witnesses
in this game
but
work.
it's just like no one. For God's sake.
Everybody's scared of.
It's so frustrating.
Everybody's scared of incriminating themselves, even when they haven't done anything. La victime, Monsieur Alg, He came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word he won the lottery, Monsieur Elk became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. No, there was no time for a phony to do acting. Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all. Je vous demande pardon. Did I pronounce that anyway correctly?
Je vous demande pardon. Yeah,
Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly.
So you, again, the judge.
What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later.
Yes!
This is
judgy!
This is the only character who gets punished for perjury in this entire franchise. Because, it's just not necessary for gameplay.
But that's just blatantly, that's because he blatantly says, yes, I lied.
Yeah.
Under oath. But, Archie, guys, Archie, straight in there. Straight in there.
This is your man.
This is to be, straight away. So to confirm, you lied. There was no mirror. You lied that there was a mirror. You perjured yourself.
You lied, you son of a bitch.
Man, look, I am MVP of the game.
For now, we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you please.
Competency in the law.
Damn, he took that perjury charge a bit too well.
Hang on a minute, maybe he's trying to get a lesser charge.
But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination.
We wouldn't have 2 cases in a row where somebody's trying to get a lesser charge to not get trying to get a lesser charge and not have a major charge, are we? Oh dear, oh dear.
Now, the victim, he came to the restaurant. The old man arrived. There were no other customers.
There were no other customers. But what about the other guy?
Maggey is the only person who consistently says that another guy was there.
I see. What do you think, chat?
So your only customers were Mr. Kudo and the victim.
How many times do you need to ask the same thing, Trite? You never catch me drinking with the same blend twice.
Huh?
You're trying to establish the presence of a phony victim in the restaurant. But you're wasting your time. You can't grind birdseed to make coffee if you catch my drift.
You can grind beans!
You can also grind birds, but only with her consent. Gumshoe, stop looking at her like that.
There's a hole in this testimony somewhere, I'm sure of it.
That's a really bad thing to follow up that with.
That was your fault.
Is that the poisoning into the gut? Approximately. How did he know it's 5 minutes? How did he know it was 5 minutes?
Yo, dude, how do you know it was 5 minutes? No, it's like, and what were you doing at that point? Without any customers, you must have had time to kill.
If not a customer.
I am a multi-talented woman, monsieur. Sorry, what do you mean? There is the renowned chef, Jean Armstrong, and the tragic poet, Clarice Armstrong. Clarice? Oui, I was writing a poem, an angry tale of a chef in $500,000 of debt. Cooking for a man who won $500,000 on the lottery. It is called Pourquoi? It means why. Perhaps I could recite it for the court. Please don't. Cabinet's sitting there with questions, and it's like...
Well, I'm trying to establish in my own head what's happened here in terms of... Is he trying to get done for this case now? Is he trying to become notorious? I don't know.
I don't think this is a person who wants to become notorious. Let's just start from the beginning. Was he alone at his table as well? No, I saw him from the kitchen. Yet the defendant, Miss Byrde, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table.
Ha! Unfortunately for you, Wright. Yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. But yesterday's witness also testified quite a number of things. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite.
What kind of coffee has he been drinking?
One made with snake venom.
It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet. Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise all of a sudden.
No, it does not.
That's why it was all of a sudden.
No, it does not.
I remember the old man. By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct?
No, Victor Crumb, the famous Bulgarian chaser.
He comes often for my special coffee.
Well, Victor Crumb. Oh, it is. I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong.
Sure.
Mr. Durmstrang. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience.
Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You are most welcome anytime.
I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more.
So old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. So, you're saying that not much time elapsed between when the victim and Mr. Kudo arrived? Oui, that is correct. But that still leaves the possibility that something happened in that gap of time. And by your recollection, how much time would you say elapsed? Let me see, approximately 2 minutes, I would say. 2 minutes? That's all? It seems unlikely that anything untoward could have happened in such a short time. Rats! I knew I shouldn't have pursued this line of questioning. Maybe we should have pursued this line of questioning earlier. Who knows? Happy boy. What am I doing?
I don't know. What are we pressing?
I should have asked something a bit more. I am getting fucked up. Buttons. I should have done this, I think. How many minutes after is not the correct question. What actual time was it? Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur. I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kinda scary old man, sir. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness? The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived, so the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10, no? Okay, just after 2. Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful. I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I?
No, which is why you're doing so much more.
The time of day will be added to the witness's
Oh,
testimony.
for goodness sake.
Oui, Mr. Judge. Everything I do it for you.
Look into my eyes, you will see
Merci
what you
bien.
mean to me.
That's French.
Take
isn't
me
it?
as I am. Take my life.
I'm glad that at least one person is in a good mood. He's even humming a song to himself.
Give me up. Oh wow, that was they did do.
Okay, so the statement has
Okay,
changed.
fair enough. Well played. Well played, game.
The statement has changed. Are you absolutely sure about the time? When I think really odd, I am sure it was just after 2.
I will cut you out of the spoon.
It was the time I stopped serving the lunch menu. Quite right, I always break for lunch when the restaurants are serving their specials. I've been known to wind up a case early just to make it on time. Ha! I guess you should never get between a hungry judge and his lunch. Oh, would you look at that? It's almost lunchtime already. Witness, get on with your testimony, please! Okay, so we're looking at 2, we're looking at 225. We're looking at things we have a date on.
Yep.
Wait a minute. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. What do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket. Oui, that must be the show Monsieur Elk was listening to. I keep being stopped by Mom. I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder... You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu.
Get to the point, Trite, if you have one.
I have several. They are on my head, and I will stand
Well,
there.
so do I!
That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m., and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on the air at 1:30? Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. Because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. No! This victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum? Catching a show that was already over? There is only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter, acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Yes, there were 2 Glen Elks in Tribulations that day. The real Glen Elk, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer, and the phony Glen Elk acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy?
Quite a performance, Trite. You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song.
The Rockstar's next game. What is this? Music Theory 101?
Let's recap. A reprise, if you like. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m., welcoming you to KGBB Radio. The phony Mr. Elk is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain that? Where the real Glen Elk is?
I put that.
Where is Mr. Plier?
I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at that time, the real Glen Elk was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion.
Thank you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say.
What?
Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to?
The missing corpse?
According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elk, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim?
Ah! No, apparently. No. No. The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. Stop making that noise. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor.
No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden.
Evidence? What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden? It's a murder trial, man. I thought I had him with that contradiction.
I like that the prosecution never has to do this, by the way.
But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead.
The prosecution never is like present a piece of evidence now, prosecution, now! Like, never happens.
Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Elk concealed?
Is it inside Tribulations behind a mirror?
It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribulations. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. The exact location where the body was concealed inside Tribulations.
Is it there?
That's a table, honey.
Yes.
I don't think that counts as a valid space. On the other hand, the body was hidden here. I see.
Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Can you try it? Can you back it up on the dance floor? Let's go! Let's go right now! Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? Where's the evidence you've got the rhythm and the groove? Come on, let's go!
Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No. I have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality only for me. Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations. Eh? Quoi? But I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication?
Pain! I mean, no.
I'm sure everybody remembers from yesterday, don't they? That Mr. Elk visited an otolaryngological clinic and was given medicine that day.
He went to an ear, nose, and throat place. You can't be serious.
That's right, G-Gan. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle matched the prescription that was given to Mr. Elk. Glenn Elk's murderer hit the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. That scene transition was triggered in the middle of the line. That was weird. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu. Yeah, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggey Byrde. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. No! Order! This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Elk? Never! I could not do such an horrible thing.
No!
Mr. Godot!
The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules.
Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now?
I don't!
Jesus Christ, what's he gonna piss like?
I don't! Then I like to do the same thing to the person who lied to me. I like to see them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear? My H-Division friend?
That's fucking cruel. Je vous demande pardon. Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me. Por favor. You hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish.
Ooh, Angie! I'm only gonna ask you once. Did you do it?
No, absolutely no. I
Let's hear it! Sorry, turning to Batman.
Yeah, calm down.
It's
friend.
fine. These aren't hockey pads. You've got one. We've gone back to one shot again and one opportunity. It's all coming back around to Eminem this episode.
One shot. It's always coming around to Batman.
One shot.
You've only got one shot, right, Gramps? And that's also one of my rules.
Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement.
Will it now?
If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel.
Oh, wow.
Oui. It is clear.
Lion, we beat the shit out of you.
What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this. Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong.
Thank God. Right, let's go. The confession. Da, 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 da.
It is true. I ate the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me.
Owl says, gavel those shards of china right into them.
You were forced? By who? I cannot say, or I will be erased.
Erased from existence.
Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elk died, was he really the only person at his table? There was. There was another man.
It was you!
I knew it! Ah! Maggey was telling the truth!
Wait, we didn't know that anyway?
You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright.
Oh,
I'm
goodness.
gonna be honest, like, Ice 22 probably gave him trust issues.
Everything's giving him trust issues.
There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer.
Snap him in half like a twig.
And I don't think that's gonna be possible.
Snap him in half like a straw.
The body was hidden in the kitchen.
The body.
The kitchen, la kitchen.
It's the body.
A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse.
Was it because he was half a million in debt?
Yeah, but who was he in debt to? And unfortunately, we know a certain man who runs a loan company.
Uh-huh.
Let's end this dance of Ring Around the Rosie, Mr. Armstrong. This is the man that you've been referring to. Ah! Who is that? I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, I don't know, maybe a month ago in this very courtroom? This man is Furio Tigre. He's the manager of a loan office called Tender Lender.
Tender.
You should replay the last episode.
I haven't got around to editing that bit yet, so...
There's no point trying to hide the truth anymore, Mr. Armstrong. I know you couldn't go against Mr. Tigre. At least, not while he had this on you. There are many things.
Gumshoe's lunch, yeah, that's it.
I've got Gumshoe's lunch, bitch.
Loan contract.
A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you to. Oui, it is as you say. Mr. Armstrong, Le Tiger. It told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his. There are rules here, and they're clearly also being broken every time. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the inconstant Maggey out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre. There's his fucking tongue. How do you feel about that, babe? There's the suit that he pretended to be Phoenix Wright in court with. There's his Dharma doll. He apparently had a big wish and he fulfilled it. Congratulations.
Just call me Snake.
He's a tiger, actually. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket, was that your doing as well? No, I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggey who had done it. I was not. It is despicable. Mr. Gordo, You will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow.
30 minutes.
What?
The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself.
Do you want it to be a late episode, though?
How long does it go on for after this?
There will be a break, and then there will be part 2. And it's currently...
I'm going to say we will stop early then in that case. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Then a minute more, or alternatively, a week for those of you on Twitch. For you on YouTube, I don't know when the scheduling is, but we'll find out.
How the...
Don't sit back and relax yet, Wright. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not, even though my entire prosecution case is built around that. But never mind, this trial could still go either way. Tune in next week when you will find out more.
Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Gordo. We will resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a week-long recess. Yeah, and then we will have to... So, in 30 minutes, he's going to wrestle this loan shark.
Save your progress. And yeah, we end early today, guys. Yeah. Thank you to Udgy for being the most competent character in his entire freaking game.
Udgy came forth.
Udgy, I will keep saying this because I just those previous 2 games, the experience with that judge.
He's a kooky man. He's a kooky character. But today...
That I am!
But today, he did his job.
He did do his job. He had one job, and he really succeeded at it.
He had one job, and he
really
actually
succeeded at it. Anyway, off you go. Have fun. We'll see you soon. Bye!
Bye-bye!